Okay, so today is October 19th. It is our October regular GASP meeting. Thank you all for being here. I want to give everybody an opportunity to just say who you are real quick. We have one new person who's very important, and I want everybody to know who she is. So, Kenzie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Kenzie. I don't know what else.
So Kenzie is a college student and a graphic designer who is from Groton, and she is helping me with some creative endeavors. And she is awesome, and I'm so happy. She is now a member of our coalition, and she's got a skill set that is very, very useful, and she's willing to help out. I told her I wouldn't take advantage of her, but anything she was willing to do, I would be very happy to have. So I invited her to join us today. So thank you, Kenzie. All right. Anybody else want to introduce yourself to Kenzie real quick?
Hi, I'm Rosemary, and I'm an off-shift nurse leader at Yale. I'm still actually employed there, although I got COVID, because it's also the germ capital of Connecticut. And I'm on the Board of Ed in Groton, and I'm a member of Sound Community Services Board of Directors also.
Very busy lady. We're lucky to have her.
Thank you. And my hair looks like Albert Einstein's today.
It's okay.
It kind of looks like that every day lately.
All right, who's up next?
Hi, I'm Heather McClellan. I'm the community policing officer for the town of Groton. And I've been with GASP for about, 2 years? A year and a half?
Another person we're so lucky to have, a great helper, and I'm very fortunate. We're so lucky. All right, who's up next?
Hi,
Faith will
everyone.
go next.
Oh. I don't want to cut anyone off.
All right, Mandy, you go first.
Okay, so hi, I'm Miranda Chapman. I'm the school liaison with the Navy. I'm in my car. That's why I don't have the picture up, because I don't want to make anyone car sick. I've been here with the Navy for 11 and a half years, and I feel like most of it I have been a part of GASP, kind of going in and out depending on what my my main job demands were. But hi.
Another very committed member. Thank you so much. And then Faith.
Thanks, Roland. My name's Faith Classwell. I have a son at Fitch, a daughter at Northeast Academy, and I'm the program director for Community of Hope, which is a supportive recovery home for ladies that is in Groton.
Another person we're lucky to have. Just everybody we're just lucky to have. So thank you all for being here. I know with everything that's going on and everyone's schedules and all the different things going on, it's really hard to balance all of our special commitments and special interests. So I always say this, but I have to. I just thank you all for making time for GASP and staying committed, because you know, I cannot do this without the help of the coalition. This is not the Carolyn show. This is GASP. And while I'm willing to do a majority of stuff, I need your support and assistance whenever possible. And showing up to these meetings is part of that. So thank you so much. So a little bit of background about what's going on right now. So GASP has had funding from DMIS, Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, for the past 5 years. We're going into our 6th year. We were supposed to be finished, but they extended it 1 more year because some of the other groups, I don't know, there was some more money, and Some of the original CSC grantees got other federal funding, and so they ended up saving some money, I guess. So I think that's what happened anyway. So normally we would be looking for something more funding, but we got lucky. We have one more year, which does mean we're going to have to look for additional funding this year. So those of you on the sustainability committee, we're going to have to talk about how we're going to do that. Sometimes it's just a matter of hearing about a grant announcement and applying, but sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. So thank you so much again for all of your efforts. GASP has been around for like 21-ish years, so I think everybody knows that we're a very long-standing coalition. We've been really fortunate to have funding, so we want to keep doing what we're doing, so we show the state that we know what we're doing and we do good work and it's working. So that's what's up. So the first thing I want to talk about are committees. So we have a couple of committees. I mentioned this sustainability committee earlier, but the two committees I want to talk about today are the social marketing and education committees, which some of you already serve on. So those committees, I'm going to be relying on this year to do things like revamp our parent campaign, which is a really simple thing to do. We've done a very similar campaign for the past 5 years. We do a mailing, we've done lawn signs, we do social media, we've done some radio ads. And that campaign is focused on improving family norms around substance use. So basically talking about clear rules and parental disapproval. Those are the things that we focus on. So basically what we'll do this year is just, improve maybe the design of the campaign, maybe tweak a few tiny little things, but the mailing, the big mailing that goes out, the 5,000 piece mailing, we actually have a little bit more money this year to send out more. So that'll be nice, but we'll be able to tweak a few things if we need to. So there's not going to be a lot of work there, but that is something that needs to get done probably within the next month. So if you're on that committee for social marketing, I'll be calling on you to help me with that. Speakers. So like everybody, we've had to make some adaptations about education and outreach. And so we need to figure out who we want to speak to our community. And it probably isn't going to be in person. We're going to still do virtual. But we have to figure out who we want. In the past, we've had people talk about, how to talk to your kids about drugs. That's been more like the parent focus. We've also had like a town hall meeting, something like that. We could have some sort of subject matter expert we could have really pretty much whatever. Our focuses right now for this grant are marijuana and prescription drugs. So if you have ideas for places you'd like to have as a speaker, maybe someone you've heard about, maybe something you've seen in another school, that would be really important. Now, I will say, now that I'm thinking of this, I saw that Norwich is doing a hidden in plain sight virtually. I think I saw Faith had, was interested in attending that. We haven't hosted one in Groton yet, but if we want to do that, we can. So I can book that in pretty short order if we want to do that. And that would be virtual. So people could attend virtually. It's not quite the same as being in person and getting to look through a bedroom and seeing different signs and things like that, and then how to handle it once you find something. But it's a good offering, and maybe I could get the PTOs to support that as well. And then also any in-school programming. So of course, this is challenging. Day to day, we don't know what schools are going to be in session. And someone just asked me, oh, how are you guys doing with like all the school stuff? And I said, well, we're not really doing anything in the schools. We're just doing virtual, but we have a lot of programming that happens in school, like our survey. That's one big thing that happens in school. Some of the curriculums, the Botman Life Skills happens in school, and the EverFi prescription drug education program that Grasso did last year, they're planning on doing that again. So there's some ways we can do things in school without it interfering with their day-to-day. So that's what's going on. Quick question, what's going on with DARE this year, Heather? Are they doing DARE? You know, how's DARE happening?
Right now it's not. We're not taking any more risks than need be. And most of it too is because the 5th grade classes have anywhere from, 3 to 5, maybe 7 kids at any one time. And so it's, we figured wait until the spring and see if things have opened up a little bit.
Sounds good. Okay, so we know that that's one adaptation that's happened. So we will see what's going on. Grants. So this is how I break down sort of some of our work. We have a grant from CRAC called the LPC grant, Local Prevention Council. And this year we have been instructed based on state data to focus on vaping. So we did a little work on vaping last year, which will continue. We are going to do a mailing very similar to the parent campaign. And I will probably be calling on the committees to help me design that and figure out what facts we want in there. I'm hoping we can do that in pretty quick order. I have a designer who works for my printer, Quality Printers, who can help put that all together, which is nice as part of the deal with mailing it out. And that's an every door direct mailing, just like the parent campaign is. So it'll be very similar front and back. We'll get it out to a bunch of households. It'll be an adult audience, so it'll be focused more on parents. So the messaging will focus on what information we want to give to adults about vaping. Groton Parks and Rec has agreed to do some park signage about smoke-free, vape-free parks and things like that. I'm working with Jerry right now to figure out how we're going to do that. That'll be another little project. I basically gave them a lot of flexibility to decide how they want it to look because they've got a very particular branding. And if I get, once that gets a little traction, I'll be checking with everybody about the message. We'll make sure that everybody approves of that, but I'm sure everybody will. It'll be very, generic. Information dissemination. So there's a couple of companies that I work with for brochures, and there's some really good ones out right now about vaping. Vaping is a fairly new topic. If you look at the history of substance use issues, it's kind of one of the newer concerns. So I'm happy to say that there's some really good information out there for both kids and parents. I already talked about vaping speaker. We have somebody from the Lung Association who's going to be doing an online event. I just have to get the date on the books. We've already agreed to do it. So I have somebody from the New England chapter of the Lung Association. She's the head of advocacy. Her name is Ruth Kenobi. She will be our speaker, and it will be great. So once I get a date for that, we can start promoting it. It'll probably be in November sometime. All right, so one of the things that kept me very busy over the summer was that academic detailing grant, which is where I was working with nurses and pharmacists, primarily, and a few doctors on talking about Narcan and prescription monitoring. So that was a separate grant that was more of a Ledgely grant, really, but there's a lot of overlap between what I was doing and what we do too. So one of the things that came out of that was a really strong relationship with school-based health centers. I got to talk to a lot of the APRNs that are associated with the school-based health centers in Groton. So I basically reminded them about GASP and how we can work together and how they're on board with what we do. So that was a very positive thing that came out of that. One of the big things we have to tackle this year and come up with, and I feel like we've sort of been talking around it for quite a while, is what we're going to do with the information we have on tobacco and alcohol policy. So compliance checks, really. We have the data that shows
Get out of here.
with the data that's been available about who's passed and who hasn't passed and how often they're passing and things like that. And it's really illuminated a community-wide alert, I would say. We want all of our establishments to be passing compliance checks. We don't want it to be 50%. We want it to be 80% or 100 every time. Certainly stuff happens there, but we don't want 50% to ever be a norm, especially with alcohol. So we really want to alert people to that and basically find a way to incentivize these businesses to pass. And so I am looking for community volunteers to help spearhead that, just because I can't spend a ton of time on it. You know, working for the health department and advocating for policy, I have to kind of walk a line there. So I was talking to somebody who was very interested in taking that on. They vanished. So I'm still looking for people. So if you know people who've got a lot of free time and are really passionate about policy, send them my way, because they can have their, you know, they can have their moment in the spotlight helping with that if they want. You know, it would be a really great win for us, and we haven't had one in a while. The last piece of policy that we supported was the BYOB ordinance, which was a really bizarre situation. It wasn't our ordinance. We just spoke in favor of it. That was really targeting places that allow people to bring alcohol. And one particular establishment kind of came into the spotlight, the hookah lounge, because of you know, some of the issues that they had been having and their policies. And you know, they've continually had trouble. Somebody fairly recently, I think, was assaulted pretty badly. So some places probably shouldn't be BYOB, but hey, what are you going to do? So that's that. So if you know of anybody, take home message. We need some volunteers to help out with that, and a community champion. New YPAs. So I put out the call for new youth representation, and I'm happy to say that we got that done. We have a great new representative from Grosso. Her name is Faith. And we have a really awesome representative from Fitch, who is also was involved with the police cadets, similar to our old YPA, RJ. And her name is Elviani. And then we have 3 girls from the middle school who are very interested in helping out. So that'll be nice. And there'll be a little trio, and we'll figure out, I'll be working with Suzanne to figure out how to best utilize them. I wanted somebody who was really vocal on social media, but you know, some parents, you know, have really strict rules about that, and that's good. So I was hoping the leader of that group would be able to do some social media for us, to kind of sort of be a peer influencer. So we'll see how that shakes out on the middle school level. But I do have 3 very nice young ladies who are interested, and I've talked to their parents, and we're good to go. Some of you know about the Dose of Prevention Challenge. It is National Medicine Abuse Awareness Month. Okay, this isn't going to show up. And so there's a little challenge, we could win some money. And so that's part of the reason why I'm working with Kenzie on some of her design work, because some of that will be entered into the contest and we can win some funding for the coalition, which is nice. I'll be working with the YPAs at Grasso and Fitch to help out with this as well. We might do like an essay contest, a lot of social media, of course, and maybe come up with another sort of pop-up event. Heather was really nice to include us in the Halloween event in Groton, which is happening. So the Change the Script van is going to show up, which is fun. I was trying to find a good way to get that to come to Groton, and we snuck it in right at the end of the month. So that'll be a nice little prevention spin. And I've got some, I just actually got today my non-food goodies for the kids. So little plushy eyeballs and skeletons and fun stuff like that. So that's good. So basically the next thing on here is talking about SPIF. So everyone here pretty much knows that we work under a framework. That's how we organize what we do. And it's broken into 5 different major categories: assessment, capacity, planning, evaluation. Basically, if we're going to look at what we do right now in that framework, assessment has to do with data collection. So right now we are rebooting the youth survey. That is happening as we speak. I've got Grasso on board. We've got the middle school on board and Fitch. So we are going to get some good data. We'll see how that all looks. We did the community survey over the summer, and we have some other ancillary data that we can use to update our needs assessment to see if anything sort of changed. You know, that ends up kind of being a whole nother project, but I do have that data, and we'll see what else is happening in that world. The last full needs assessment we did was in 2015. Capacity, so we're always looking for new people. I do a lot of stuff online, you know, social media and LinkedIn and Alignable, and always looking for new helpers. You know, when there's somebody who wants to volunteer, like, we can give them a very small, doable project. If people just want to show up for meetings or be on the list, we're cool with that. So, you know, we're happy with whatever level of interest people have. If somebody like is just raring to go, we'll take that, and wants to do a big project, we're happy to have that. Planning, obviously sustainability. I've got a meeting about that coming up with the state to review our plans and see what we've done or what we haven't done. There are no major grants that I know of right now to prep for. I'm hoping to get an underage drinking grant if one is available. So there's one called STOP Act. That's a federal grant. We are eligible for that if it's available this year. So if an announcement comes up, I'm gonna do my darndest to get a great application in for that. School interaction, we can sort of skip that one. Evaluation. So last year I had to do a bunch of products for DEMIS as part of our requirements for the grant, basically showing what we've done and what progress we've made. I'm going to have to update those this year, so with any new data that we get. So that's why our data is so important this year. We're going to have to see how we did with our goals and where we're doing with that. So that's what's going on there. Any questions, comments? I will open it up to anybody who has something they want to contribute, an idea that they have, a question, concern.
This is Rosemary. I like the idea of directing a lot of stuff at the parents, especially since are also our teachers at times. So if we could do, I know we're doing something with vaping, but if we could do kind of focus on stuff for the parents to involve them and to talk about how important they are, and maybe even a little bit of research that supports that.
Absolutely, I hear you loud and clear. So definitely. I know you're on the education committee, Rosemary. So as soon as we,
I'm also on sustainability too.
yes,
So,
that's true. You're one
which
of my
I'm
hard workers.
I'm passionate about both.
Thank you so much. Yes, as soon as, we were going to be putting that together soon, and everyone will get a chance to take a peek at that and critique it and give me feedback. So,
The reason I bring it up is that parents are a little more important than they used to be now that we're having distance learning on and off. So we really need to acknowledge that and to commend them, thank them for what they're doing, what they've done so
absolutely.
far to hook them to get to do more.
Absolutely. Parents matter for sure.
Oh God, yes.
All right. So I've got that noted. Anything else?
Carolyn, it's Heather. Did you mention the prescription take back day? I'm sorry if I missed it.
No, I did not. I
Oh,
don't know how. I remembered to mention Halloween, but I didn't remember that. Thank you. See, this is why I need awesome people to back me up here. Heather has graciously accepted to help us out in the town with our Take Back Day. National Drug Take Back Day is a national observance. The city is also doing their own. They're doing it 10 to 2 on October 24th. And we are doing ours very similarly from 10 to 1. And we're doing it 10 to 1 because they have a requirement for disposal that's very time consuming. So we need to bring it somewhere to get it incinerated. We can't handle it on our own. So that's what we're doing. And so there are 2 opportunities for take back days, which is great. This is something we've done every year without fail. And we have 2 boxes, which makes us very unique across the state. So we do have flyers for that. And then of course on social media, we can share and post and things like that. So we certainly want both of those to be successful. But we also want people to know that they can use the boxes whenever they need them. Hopefully they use them properly. That's one funny thing that came out of our survey, that still only 25% of the people who took our community survey know about the boxes. I'm shocked because we've been banging that drum for a long time. So we can continue to promote those and it's not overkill. So thank you so much, Heather, for that reminder. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, so take back days. All right, anybody else? Are we good? Okay, I am going to stop our recording.